Hi, everybody. How's it going? Hopefully, you are having a great Tuesday and your week started off on a good note. So, I just want to stop in today for a few moments to talk about an experience I had today. And it's been a minute since I experienced one of these. I suffered with social anxiety for most of my life, basically. And I went into a big meeting today, and it was like, bam, all of a sudden, before I knew it, I choked up. I felt like I didn't belong in the room. I felt like everybody in that room was better than me. I went into that secretive mode. Let me look around and see who's looking at me. Are they going to figure out that I don't belong here? It was like being zoomed back in time to a 7-year-old kid taking those speech pathology classes and getting therapy because I didn't talk right, as they said back then. So before we get started, let me go ahead and share this to my group. So give me a moment here. See if I can find it here. Let's see. There it is. All right. So basically today I went to a training, and it's the first training I've been to actually all year because I spent a large part of this year on crutches and having surgeries and on canes and whatnot. And so I walked into this building, and I don't know what it was. I don't know what was triggered, but I just felt like I was that 7-year-old child. And when I was in second, third grade, for sure, don't know about fourth grade, but I was pulled out of classes for speech classes. I did not speak correctly, is what I was told. And so, every week or, so many times a week, they had to pull me out. I was born in the Appalachian region in Alabama, and I was talking to my mom about it when I got a little bit older, and what she said was, at the time, those of us who spoke with deep Southern drawls were said not to talk right, and so they were trying to, I guess, train us out of that or what have you. But at any rate, it just some days I would be embarrassed because you're single out of class, they pull you out, and everybody's watching you as you leave the class, and everybody's watching you when you come back. And so today it was like I was bounced back to that kid again. And I've had issues before where in high-powered meetings when all the executives are there and directors are there, that I would kind of revert. And it was like I would revert back to a kid, and I can't speak. My tongue is like gets thicker or stuck, and I can't pronounce my words. And it is almost as if I go back to being a kid who had to go to speech classes, and taught how to speak correctly and pronounce my vowels and my blends correctly. And I had one of those moments today, and I just felt like, I kind of choked up, and it was like back in time, and I felt like I was inadequate. I felt like I didn't belong there. I just kind of felt like, this is what in the world. And so as I started to try to look around and see who was watching me, if you have social anxiety, you know that when you walk, you always feel like people are staring at you and people are judging you and as if you don't belong. And sometimes, some of us, we also suffer from the imposter syndrome, and that you feel like if, there's certain people around you don't belong. So literally all these things came zooming up on me at the same time. And before I got lost in it, I was like, you know what? We're not going there today. Literally, I said to myself, we're not doing that today. Absolutely not. I'm not going there today. You know what? I have just as much right to be here as anybody else in this room, And I got to tell you, it was, a former Army chief of staff in the room, and there are a lot of bigwig people there, in the game for, years and years and years, a lot of experience. But I caught myself and I said, you know what? This is the imposter syndrome. We're not going there today. We're not doing this. What did Michelle Obama say? We're not doing this today. I will not do this today, because when I get that way, I can't talk. And when I do try to talk, I go back to not being able to pronounce my consonant sounds. I can't pronounce my blends. And it's like, I sound like an idiot because I can't speak. And so literally I called it out, self-imposter syndrome. We're not going there today. I have every right to be here with anybody else in this room. You know what? I'm dressed appropriately. I am dressed normally. I am dressed like anybody else in this room. I'm not going there today, And then I took a deep breath and I just stopped. I was like, so take a look around the room. Is everybody looking at you? I literally looked around the room. So, that little negative voices, everybody's going to look at you and they're going to know nobody's even looking at me, and the few people who are looking at me, who cares, and I had to just take several deep breaths and say, we are not doing this today. You came here for a class, you came to learn, so we're not doing it today. You know what? No, you're right. You don't know anybody in this room, nobody here. Doesn't matter, because we're not doing this today. You've been places where you didn't know everybody in the room, and you lived through it and you were fine. Took my deep breaths, recentered, and so, there's a negative self-talk, and you're going to look awkward. You don't know anybody here. You want something to eat, but what you're going to do if you sit at a table, if you stand at a table, there's nobody there with you, you're going to look, awkward. And I was like, nope, we're not doing this today. You know what? There are other people standing at tables by themselves. So you have a choice. You can find a table and stand at the table by yourself, or you can go join somebody and say, hey, how are you doing? But we're not going there today. Does it matter if you feel awkward? I'm sure someone else here feels awkward too. And so literally, as my negative self-thoughts kept popping in, I challenged them. No, you know what? Everybody's not looking at me. Really, nobody cares I'm even here. Maybe the promoters that checked me in probably cared, because they checked my name off the list and gave me my name tag. But anyone else? No. Okay, you're going to look very, very awkward if you stand at the table by yourself. Literally challenged it. There are several other people here who are at tables by themselves, and they're fine, so I'm going to be fine too. We're not doing this today. We're not going to let this take hold. I'm not freaking out. I'm not panicked. I know how to talk. I have a voice. And for God's sakes, I have 3 degrees. Yes, I can talk to people. I can stand at a table by myself. I can do this. I've done it before. I will do it today. I will be okay. And at that point, I went across and as I got my food, the little, the continental breakfast they had, I literally stepped up to a table and there was a lady there and she said, hey, you want to eat here? Fine, that's great. We didn't know each other. We introduced ourselves to each other. Another lady walked up, she introduced herself, and I was fine. I didn't get the choke feeling in my voice went away, and that fear that I was just going to sound stupid if I tried to say something. I was like, no, we're not doing that today. We're not doing this. It's not going to happen. No, we're going to be okay. And so, I think back that 20 years ago, I wouldn't have done that. I may have even turned around and left the conference. I would have been so intimidated, so afraid that I was going to speak and sound stupid. I would have left. But literally every thought that came up, when the thought popped up, I looked around and I validated. Is everybody looking in this room looking at me? Nope, nobody's looking at you. Everybody's not looking at you. Okay, so that's a false thought. So I'm not going to freak out because everybody's looking at me. You're going to sound stupid. You know what? I spoke to some people. I said good morning. I said hi. I had the use of my voice. Nope, not buying that one either. You're going to feel stupid. Don't care. These people here are really high power. They've been at this for 20 years. It doesn't matter. I came here today to learn. So I didn't come to know everything. I'm not expected to know everything. I came here to learn today. And so literally one by one, as my negative thoughts popped up, I continued challenging. I continued challenging until finally I was like, okay, you're going to be okay. We're going to be fine today. You know, I'm dressed pretty much like everybody else here is. We're going to be fine. And literally, I could feel when the fear receded. And I was like, okay, deep breath. And when I walked into the room, it was like, oh, you don't want to sit at a table by yourself. And I was like, you know what, I can or cannot. It doesn't matter, you know. And so I looked across the room and I chose a table. I was one person there. I sat down and I was fine. It's like, you know, it doesn't matter. There are people here sitting at the tables by themselves. Life didn't end and I'm going to be okay. And so for those of you out there who can recognize that, the negative thoughts when you're zooming in and then you start to like freak out or your anxiety starts to get really, really high and you kind of feel yourself panting, it really does work if you just stop. Just tell yourself, stop. Take several deep breaths. If that doesn't work, if you need 10 deep breaths, take 10 deep breaths. And literally, when you're hit with a thought, challenge the thought. Don't accept it as real. Challenge the thought. Okay, because that's exactly what I did. I literally looked around the room, scanned. Nope, you know what? Everybody's not looking at me. That's not true. So I'm not going to freak out about that. Well, you know, there's some people here who are smarter than you. Okay, I came here to learn, so that's okay. That means I'll learn. There'll be plenty for me to learn today. If everyone sitting in this room is smarter than I am, then that means there's plenty for me to learn today because I came to learn. So there was, you know, there was a negative self-thought kick to the curb, you know, and then I continued to breathe. I could just, you know, feel myself as it receded. It's like, okay, I'm good. I'm going to be okay. Literally, you can challenge yourself, those negative self-thoughts. You can actually challenge them. There's a process in, you know, the way that you can challenge them. Talk to yourself, you know, knock them one by one to the side. They're not true. They're not true. They're not true. You don't have to be swallowed by an inferiority complex. You don't have to be swallowed by that imposter syndrome. You can do it. It is possible. Now, if you're needing some help, and if you look, it depends on where you see the video. You can look down beneath the video or you can look above. I have a calendar link that you can click on that and set up a free, it's a complimentary session. It's 1 hour of powerful coaching and I guarantee you that your life will shift and we can look at setting. I'm sorry, I'm all excited here because I'm hitting the table and my laptop is sitting on and it's just shaking and shaking. I was like, why is my video shaking? Well, that would be me because I'm the only person here in the house. But go ahead and click a link, find a date and time that works for you, and let's have a powerful coaching conversation. Let's look at a step-by-step plan that will help you. You can do exactly what I did today. I walked in that room, my imposter syndrome kicked in, my social anxiety kicked in, but I came out victorious because I stopped. I challenged every thought. I looked around me to, collect data. Started collecting data, like what's real, what's reality here. And I was able to challenge the thoughts that were false. And when I challenged those thoughts that had to fall to the side, I took a deep breath and then I went forth and I conquered. And it felt really good. I can't tell you how good it felt because again, when the thoughts came in, I actually went back to being a kid again, having to take speech lessons because I didn't talk. I could not pronounce words accurately. And it just like, I was like, I can't believe I'm here again. And literally started challenging those thoughts. And it's like, no, I'm here. I'm going to be okay. And so if you're wanting to know how to do that, definitely click the link, set up a powerful hour of coaching with me. And I promise you, you will have experience of shifting your life that you can go forward. Thanks for watching. I've got to go to a coaching call after this, and it's about time to click in, but I appreciate you watching and have a great Tuesday. And I see, I don't want to mispronounce the word, Teus. I see you watching. Thanks a lot for watching. And again, rewatch the video, listen to it again, and if you feel, you know, that imposter syndrome or the anxiety kicks in, or you're in a high power stakes meeting, or you're having to do presentations and you're freezing up, you're choking up, been there, done it. I can write a book on it. I promise you, call me up, we can chat about it and get you to where you can leap forward to your next level. That is my truth. Thanks for watching. Take care.